government officials are always asking you, primarily they're asking you two things. Who are you and what are you doing? They're always going to ask you for they're always going to, what are you doing? Who are you and what are you doing?
Actually, they're looking for you to lay claim to something. Once you lay claim to something, you brought a controversy before them and give them jurisdiction.
Well, that's a legal claim. Ownership can only happen in the legal world.
They usually ask you, what's your name?
Right.
Okay, and if you say, well, my name is blah, 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 you just created a controversy and you brought it before a judicial officer and gave them jurisdiction.
But a judicial officer is acting as a legal person, acting in a particular capacity, whatever that capacity is. They're play acting, they're role playing. They're saying, I'm acting in this capacity.
Whatever.
Every morning these people put on a name tag and a costume and say, I'm acting in this capacity. They're role playing, they're pretending.
Big deal. The point of the matter is honor and dishonor and how you treat one another. Get over this government and these people acting as officers. They're brothers and sisters. If they believe they work for Santa Claus, good, God bless them. The point of the matter is how you deal with them at the moment. That's all that matters, if you ask me. All this other stuff is nothing but muddy in the waters, man.
Well, whenever I say that's mine, whenever I use the word mine or they say, is this yours, the implication is that you're making a legal claim on it. And I don't identify myself as a legal person that can make a legal claim. They're saying, well, if you want to argue this in court, then you can. Well, wait a minute. I can't counterclaim your legal claim because I would have to identify myself as a legal person to legally counter. I'm not going to do that. I'm identifying myself as. I'm identifying myself as. Huh?
Hey, all that's well and good, but the way you're talking, you're in dishonor and you're a liar. If you ask me, if I was judging this, why are you telling everybody what you're not? Would it be better to show them?
No, let's start.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. Yeah, okay.
Let me finish here.
Okay.
Would it be better to ask them instead of telling them what you're not? Ask them, what do you believe I am?
No,
why would you come to that conclusion?
No, I'm going to identify myself. I'll tell you who I am. I'll tell you who I am and what I'm doing. Let's not leave this up to speculation. I'm not going to try to guide them. I'm not going to try to guide them down a road and hope they reach the right conclusion. No, let's start at the beginning. I'll tell you who I am. You don't tell me who I am. I'll tell you who I am and what I'm doing.
Prove it.
Well, they're asking me to identify me. They're asking me, who are you? Who are you and what are you doing? That's all they want to know. Who are you and what are you doing? What they're going to say? What?
Who am I? Who am I? Well, this morning I took the kids to school. Would that make me a chauffeur? The other day I was out with my buddy's girlfriend. Would that make me a freaking adulterer? I mean, who are you? Come on. You want to go there? Jeez. Can you really define who you are or what you are?
Well, I'm not gonna live in negatives. They're asking me, well, are you gonna deny? Are you gonna say I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this? No, I don't want to deny anything. They're asking me, well, if you're not all those things, then who are you? They want to know who you are.
Well, good, define it. Who are you? Do you really know who you are?
Yes, I do know who I am. I know who I am, and I know what I am, and I know what I'm doing. And I'll tell you who I am and what I'm doing.
Tell me. I'm waiting. I'm all ears. Tell me who you are. This ought to be good.
I'll tell you who I am. When you say you, when somebody looks at me and points their finger and says you, they're pointing at what I believe to be ultimately the spirit that operates this physical body. I'm manifest into what you're seeing as a physical body here. What you're hearing over the phone right now is a voice, and that voice comes from a physical body. Now, we call it different things. We call that spirit different things. We call it nature. We call it the unified field. We call it quantum foam. We call it a lot of different things. That's what I am. But I'm manifest in this physical body. And what I call this physical body is a natural man. That's distinct and different from a legal person or natural person. I'm identifying myself as spirit or energy or quantum foam or unified field or whatever you want to call it. I manifest as a natural man, not a legal person. And when I talk and interact with people, I'm talking and interact with them as a natural man. A natural man has inherent freedoms, not government-issued liberties,
Now,
not
here
government-issued
freedom.
rights or
You're
privileges.
beautiful.
But
I think you're on the wrong call, buddy.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Sabrina.
Can I just throw something in there?
Sure.
A wise man once said to me that the war is between your ears, and that's what I'm hearing from the other caller completely. And the other thing too is, is it true that every time you make a statement that people see you as being a liar because you can't actually prove any statements? That's why you ask questions. But there's really, I can't see any need to go into all of that detail of who I am. And, you know, the only reason that you would probably want to define who you are so that other people get it right is because you're at war with them and you're not at peace with them. Because when you're at peace in your heart, you don't have to do all that other stuff. That's how I feel anyway.
Well, it sounds like if you're constantly asking questions and constantly evading and avoiding and denying, I don't want to go that route. I want to say, let's start at the beginning. I'll tell you who I am.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, the way I look at it. Until you ask the questions to know what people think about what you're talking about, till you can come to agreement with an individual. Other than that, you're just blowing smoke, you know?
Well, that's why I would have to.
That's why I ask questions, so I can come to an understanding of what one's perception is at the moment.
Well, I've listened to all these people acting in public they're acting in a capacity. I've listened to all these people talk, and the common denominators they always ask me, "Do you understand and agree with what I've just said to you?" They always end everything with, "Do you understand and agree with what I've just said to you?" And they're saying, "Well, here's your right. Here's this debt obligation. Here are your rights. Here's this or that." But they always end it with, "Do you understand and agree with what I just said to you?" And they're waiting for me to respond to that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with saying, how can I understand until we come to a meeting of the minds?
Yeah. That's why I ask the questions.
Mm.
And I'll make a statement. I'll say I'll agree with somebody when I believe I do. We have a meeting of the minds. But till then, I'm in kindergarten, man. I want you to educate me. Me telling you what I am or not, like that really matters. Only way they're going to figure it out is the way I act towards them at the moment. I could tell them I'm the president of, the Bat Cave here. But big deal. Prove it.
Well, I don't disagree with anything that you say. I don't disagree with it. I'm looking for practical application. When a marshal or sheriff or debt collector or property tax, when they say, "Hey, they're pointing at me, you haven't paid this property tax, you haven't fulfilled this debt obligation."
I'd say, what first-hand knowledge do you have that I even have such a thing? Yeah, I would know about blowing smoke. I guess the other chat. In fact, I'm doing it right now. I got a cigarette.
I wonder how long it's going to take that one to come back.